But I didn't expect Summer Hayes to come too. She'd never liked attending these social gatherings. Before, it was always Ryan Hayes and I dragging her along. But today she not only came. She even brought Tyler Crawford. A whole group drinking, singing karaoke, chatting. Before long they started cheering and playing games. All right, spin the wheel. Whoever it lands on has to complete a truth or dare challenge. Summer Hayes was outside taking a work call, so she was absent. And I wasn't very good at these games, but was still pulled in to play. The wheel spun. The first round pointed to me. The challenge was to kiss the next person who walked through the door within 10 minutes. I held the paper in silence. Tyler Crawford looked smug. Ethan Sinclair, I know you're too noble for this. If you really can't do it, then how about you kneel down and shine my shoes instead? The challenge will be cancelled. I looked at his mischievous expression. Clenched my fingers. I was someone about to die anyway. What did kissing someone matter? I said calmly, I choose the challenge. Tyler Crawford wasn't surprised. Instead, his smile deepened. A cunning gleam flickered in his eyes. At the other end of the hallway, Summer Hayes finished her phone call, turned around to see a dirty vagrant approaching excitedly, still on the phone with a friend. Bragging, I just got a big job. Someone wants to prank a handsome guy. Specifically hired me to go kiss him. The vagrant hung up as he reached the room door. He ended the call, then lewdly licked his lips about to push open the door. Just as he was about to step inside, someone suddenly grabbed him forcefully from behind. As it turned out, Summer Hayes said something coldly, then stepped into the room one step ahead. Everyone saw it was her who walked in. Immediately fell silent. Tyler Crawford's expression changed completely. How did this happen? I was also somewhat surprised, looking at Summer Hayes. And Summer Hayes, acting as if she had no idea what was going on, said coldly, why is everyone staring at me? Someone hesitantly responded, Ethan Sinclair got the challenge. Has to kiss the first person who walks through the door within 10 minutes. Summer Hayes calmly sat down, clearly not planning to carry out this ridiculous game. Tyler Crawford quickly added, right. Let's just skip this round. Everyone knows Summer Hayes has a fiancé. Everyone hurried to turn the page on this. The reunion ended. Tyler Crawford cursed at the vagrant in private. Didn't I tell you to get in there fast? The vagrant also looked innocent. It really wasn't my fault. That woman forcefully pulled me back. I even suspect she did it on purpose. Thinking about how Summer Hayes had protected me, Tyler Crawford's face looked terrible. The two families had been engaged for 2 years already. She'd never once mentioned marriage. The more he thought about it, the angrier he got. After chasing the vagrant away, he made a phone call. The next day Summer Hayes was called home by her parents. You needed something? Mrs. Hayes asked her, somewhat displeased. I'm asking you, when do you plan to marry Tyler Crawford? You two have been engaged for so long. Crawford's been complaining. The Crawford family wants you two to marry soon. Summer Hayes's expression didn't change. The company's very busy right now. Mrs. Hayes saw right through her. Those are all excuses. Don't think I don't know. You won't marry Tyler Crawford. Because you still can't forget that man, Ethan Sinclair. Summer Hayes's tea-drinking motion suddenly stopped. Her expression immediately turned cold. Mrs. Hayes, seeing her daughter like this, knew she'd guessed correctly. She was furious beyond measure. You and Ethan Sinclair are absolutely impossible. With that, she dragged Summer Hayes before Ryan Hayes's memorial photo. Are you planning to marry someone who got your brother killed? I know too. The real murderer who killed Ryan wasn't him. But he indirectly caused Ryan's death. Ryan died protecting him. If he hadn't run, Ryan wouldn't have died so horribly. There might have been a slim chance of survival. Our family can't get past this. No matter what, he can never step foot in our home. Unless I'm dead too. Mrs. Hayes scolded while crying. Finally clutching Ryan Hayes's memorial photo tightly. Sobbing uncontrollably. Looking at Ryan Hayes's young, tender face in the photo. And her crying mother. Summer Hayes felt something heavy pressing on her heart. Couldn't breathe. She spoke slowly, saying the truth she'd known all along. I won't marry Ethan Sinclair. Mrs. Hayes immediately pressed on. But that's not enough. Then in front of your brother. Promise me you'll marry Tyler Crawford." Summer Hayes was silent for 1 second. 2 seconds. 3 seconds. Finally she slowly spoke. "I will marry Tyler Crawford. At dawn." Summer Hayes still stood before her bedroom window, holding a slightly worn diamond ring. It was the engagement ring from that year between her and me. Back then we were so close. So close to being able to marry. Now, she stared silently at that ring for a long, long time. Finally closed her eyes and flung it away. The ring immediately disappeared into the silent night. A few days later I just returned from a hospital checkup. Saw a car downstairs. Summer Hayes was already by the car as if waiting for me. Just like back in college, when she'd wait downstairs at my dorm. I hid the medicine I'd gotten and walked toward her. "You looking for me?" Summer Hayes looked up at me. Suddenly noticed I seemed much thinner, my face also very pale. Something flickered in her eyes, but she didn't ask anything. Just took an envelope from her bag. I looked down and saw the invitation. The blood in my body froze solid. I didn't move for a long time. Until Summer Hayes' voice came from above. "Tyler Crawford and I are getting married. Just letting you know. Don't come. And don't congratulate me either." Wave after wave of pain crashed through my heart. So she hated me. Hated me so much she never wanted to see me again? I took the invitation with trembling hands. In the end, didn't have the courage to look up, to let her see my expression. Just nodded silently. "I wish you happiness." Summer Hayes and Tyler Crawford's wedding was in a week. I submitted my resignation to the company. It was approved very quickly. Summer Hayes was getting married and didn't want to see me anymore. I didn't even have a reason left to live and atone. 3 days before her wedding, I took stock of my assets from all these years. Working at the company all those years, I'd actually saved quite a bit of money. I sold my house. Donated all the money to the Hope Project. 2 days before her wedding, I made a trip to the cemetery. I bought the plot next to Ryan Hayes. And instructed the staff, "Don't put my name on the headstone. No one's going to visit my grave anyway. That way when the Hayes family sees it, they won't know it's me. And they won't be angry." 1 day before her wedding, I began arranging my final affairs. I called someone to haul away trash. All my belongings in the house. Everything dragged outside. Finally in the empty apartment. Only one large cardboard box remained. Inside were Summer Hayes' and my student IDs from high school. Movie tickets from our first date. And photos of us together. Gifts she'd given me. Letters we'd written each other. I lit incense. These memory-filled objects. Things I'd looked through countless times in the dead of night over the years. I burned them all, one by one. I sat in the empty apartment until the next morning's sun rose. Today was Summer Hayes' wedding. I staggered to my feet. Suddenly saw a patch of blood red on the floor. I touched my face. Only then realized I was bleeding. But I paid no attention. Stumbled unsteadily outside. Today was a rare sunny day. But I still trembled all over. I walked while bleeding. Passers-by stared at me in shock. But I didn't stop for even a step. Finally stopped on a large bridge. Below the bridge was bottomlessly deep water. Must be bone-chillingly cold. I sat on the bridge railing and called the hospital. "Hello. I'm going to die today. Please come collect my body. Then immediately harvest my organs." After hanging up, I stared numbly at the river's surface. Face covered in blood. But the corners of my mouth twitched into a smile. Finally it's over. I only felt relief. Today was her wedding bliss. I'd sink to the river bottom. This was the most beautiful ending I could think of. Smiling, I closed my eyes. And jumped resolutely. Never to see Summer Hayes again. Half an hour later at the wedding venue. Summer Hayes stood on stage in her wedding dress. Watching Tyler Crawford in his tuxedo walk toward her. She was in a daze. But her mind was full of my voice. "Ethan, what kind of wedding do you want?" "I want something really simple. Want it on a huge lawn. Hung with colorful balloons everywhere. Only invite our closest friends. Have Ryan be my best man. The Hayes family wedding can't be simple." Summer Hayes, who said I'd marry you. Back then neither of us thought that in the end I really wouldn't be able to marry her. Before her eyes, all she saw was my face. going through the ceremony mechanically. Until the two were about to exchange rings. An assistant suddenly rushed over. "Ms. Hayes, your phone keeps ringing." Summer Hayes frowned. "Don't you realize what occasion this is?" The assistant was also in a difficult position. "But it's been ringing for so long. I'm afraid it might be urgent." So she still took the phone. Call. Tried an unfamiliar number. She swiped to answer. An angry roar came through the phone. It was Hannah Shaw's voice. Summer Hayes's expression immediately turned cold. "Hannah Shaw. This better be important." The other side said just one sentence. Summer Hayes suddenly went deathly pale. With a crash, the phone fell to the ground. The next second, everyone at the venue saw the bride go mad. Suddenly grabbed her wedding dress and ran outside. Tyler Crawford on stage kept calling after her. But Summer Hayes acted as if she couldn't hear anything. Her mind full of that sentence from the phone call. "Summer Hayes, Ethan Sinclair is dead. He jumped into the river and died." Today, the annual Business Exchange Conference proceeded as usual. Everyone seated in the conference hall was an executive from top-tier companies. But no matter who you asked, the person everyone focused on was that one. The legendary Summer Hayes. 3 years had honed her into someone even more exceptional. Left the family company to start her own business. From a talented young person to now mature and thoroughly calculated. She'd used just 1/4's outstanding report to successfully mark her first chapter. Now Summer Hayes relied on not that family enterprise's deep foundation, but the new industry she'd successfully pioneered. Do you know why young CEO Hayes had to go out and start her own business? This rare gossip made the young man very interested. This was his first time attending this event, meeting so many big names like this. The senior colleague beside him kept talking. "You might not believe this. That year young CEO Hayes ran away from her own wedding. I don't know all the details. She abandoned the groom she'd been with for years. Just jumped in her Panamera and sped off. Rich people's marriages aren't as simple as we think. Her running from that marriage was basically slapping her own parents twice across the face. And slapping the Alliance family twice too. After that, old CEO Hayes threatened her with her career. She just let go and quit." Oh my God. This insider gossip shocked the young man. "So do you know why she ran? Tell me quick. Don't leave me hanging." "I already said I don't know all the details. Just that someone at the venue said, young CEO Hayes got a phone call and ran. My guess is, something happened to the person she really loved. Love unreturned, wanting but unable to have, truly a grand drama." The young man looked terrified toward the back, at the tall figure. With an overwhelming presence, the woman. Her face deathly pale, frantically tugging at the senior's sleeve. The senior still looked unsatisfied. "What? Why are you pulling me?" "Wait, the junior manager just said we're blocking the view." The young man bowed his head, thinking to himself he was definitely about to die. "Ms. Hayes, is there something we can help you with?" Summer Hayes had been standing behind them listening for who knows how long. She had an intimidatingly cold face, hair flowing past her waist, dark, penetrating eyes, looking very serious. "Where's the restroom?" The senior finally turned around, legs trembling. "Serious. Where's the restroom?" The senior finally turned around, legs trembling. He only hated that he was a man. Tried to squeeze out a smile on his stiff muscles, twitching like he had some disease. "Ms. Hayes, follow me." The expected fury never came. Under his trembling guidance, Summer Hayes walked into the restroom. He didn't dare move, just stood outside the door waiting for her wrath. But when Summer Hayes came out, she only looked at him once. Said to herself, "You were right." The man couldn't understand for a moment. Summer Hayes continued, "The person I loved is dead." Just a few simple words. No different from earth-shattering thunder. He gaped, staring blankly at Summer Hayes. Drying her hands, said calmly, "Your information's quite accurate. You're wasted here. Come work at my company." The senior was just as confused. Was this sarcasm or a real offer? He knew Summer Hayes now ran a medical company. His expertise didn't match at all. His head nearly wanted to bow to the floor. But a pale hand appeared before him, holding a business card. Summer Hayes' name clearly printed on it. Bring that young guy from earlier with you. Senior. Never in his wildest dreams would he think gossiping could land him a job.